Hello Alycats, indie viewers. So today is part 2 of my April 2016 favorites, and if you don't know what favorites are, that's where I mention everything I loved in the entertainment world for the past few weeks. And I always split these into 2 parts because I always have way too many favorites because I don't really have a life. Anyway, let's get started. First up are the books, and the first one up is The Ice Dragon by George R. Martin. This was fantastic. If you're a fan of George R. R. Martin or fantasy, definitely read this. It's super short. I think it's like 120 pages. Most of the pages are illustrated, so it's not even 120 pages. But like, look at this artwork. Look at it. That's gorgeous. It is kind of pricey for the size. Like, usually this goes for $15. I got it for $4 at Books A Million's bargain table, but this is definitely worth it if you can find it for a good price. Like I said, I don't know if I pay $15 for something this small. But definitely, if you can find it for a good price and you're into fantasy, definitely check out The Ice Dragon because it's such a good story. And the last book is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series. And this series is fantastic. This is so much better than Throne of Glass, and I love Throne of Glass, so that means I really love this book. And this is following Selena Sardothian, which I can't really say much without spoiling the series, but she's a badass assassin. And she has 2 gorgeous guys that are in love with her, and there's a lot of political machinations going on. There's like a spirit realm. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it all forms into a very beautiful, cohesive whole, and it's just really worth reading if you're into fantasy. So definitely check out the Throne of Glass series. I've heard the books get better as they go along, and I can definitely attest that this is better than the first one, but they're all fantastic. Now moving on to movies, there's a lot, just like last time, because I'm kind of obsessed with film. First up is Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the story of an Irish girl named Ailish, and to make a better life for herself, Ailish moves from Ireland to New York City, and this follows her journey of trying to become an independent woman in a foreign land, and how she navigates through having to find a job, how she deals with falling in love. And it's just so beautiful. Saoirse Ronan did a fantastic job as Ailish, and it was such a beautiful, moving story. There are definitely some sad parts, and there are some parts where you're just like, Ailish, make up your mind. You should do this because it's obvious this is the best path for you. You're still so interested in her choices and what she's going to do, and how she adjusts to this new world, and how America's so much different than Ireland to her. And it's just such a beautiful story, and I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. The next movie up, I watched this because I've recently become obsessed with Robert Rodriguez and his work, and that is The Faculty. I don't know how I haven't seen this before, or I hadn't even heard of it before I watched this, but it was fantastic. Basically, The Faculty is about this high school. All these teachers start being taken over by aliens, and then these aliens spread to the students, and it just becomes mayhem, and the small group of students has to basically try to stop the aliens once and for all. This movie is so much fun. It's pretty gory, it's funny, it's well done. There are some fantastic actors in this film. This film stars Salma Hayek, Robert Patrick, Jordana Brewster, Josh Hartnett, and several other well-known actors. And it's just a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. The next film is Battle Royale. Again, I don't know why I haven't seen this before. It was fantastic. It's basically like a Japanese R-rated version of The Hunger Games. It's about this high school class. They're going on a class trip. Everyone falls unconscious on the bus, they wake up, they're in a classroom with their homeroom teacher, and he informs them that they're to take part in the Battle Royale, which is an event where these 42 students have to kill each other off until there's only one left to cut back on the population. And the kills are so much fun to watch, the story is emotional, and it just grips you the whole way through. You fall in love with these characters, and it hurts to see some of your favorite ones die. This film is fantastic. It is subtitled, but if you can handle that, definitely watch it because it's just such a fantastic film. Next up is The Babadook. The Babadook was way better than I thought it would be, and it's definitely a film to watch if you're a horror fan. The Babadook is a story of a mother and her son, and this mother is dealing with her grief over her husband passing, and she's trying to raise her son on her own, and he's acting out. And one day he finds a book in their house called The Babadook, and she reads it out loud to him. It's very disturbing, and then all of a sudden they're being haunted by the Babadook, and everyone thinks they're going crazy. They're the only ones that can see this creature, and it basically just starts to take over their lives. I love this film because it's actually a metaphor for depression and grief, and it's just very, very well done. It's a low budget film, but I really, really loved it. I thought that all the actors in the film were great. I like the design of the Babadook. He's obviously not real, but it's so unique. The next film is The Hateful Eight. Now, I was a little leery about this movie because I usually adore Quentin Tarantino films, but so many people that I knew were diehard fans of Tarantino absolutely hated this film. But I actually really enjoyed it. Now, I do have to say the first half of the film is really slow, and that's when most people check out of the film. But if you can stick with it up until the second half, then you will just fall in love with this film because it's so, so fantastic once you reach the second half. The story is basically about John Ruth, who is a bounty hunter. He has a criminal named Daisy Domergue. He's taking her to Red Rock to get her bounty, and along the way they come across a man named Marquis Warren. And Marquis is another bounty hunter. And along the way they pick up the supposed new sheriff of Red Rock, Chris Mannix. And they eventually come across a bar named Minnie's Haberdashery. And they become snowed in there with a group of men. And everyone is leery of each other. And quickly things become a little bit on the murderous side, and it turns into a whodunit film. I thought it was fantastic. I thought all the actors are great. Kurt Russell, Samuel L. Jackson, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Michael Madsen, Walton Goggins, Tim Roth, Demian Bashir. They were all fantastic. And I loved the twist ending of this film. I thought that was just perfection. Plus, this film had gorgeous cinematography, okay? I was literally drooling at this film because it was so freaking beautiful. So definitely check out The Hateful Eight. It's a great, great film. Just, you have to sit through the slow burning first half of the film. If you can do that, though, you're golden. The next movie quickly became one of my favorite films after I watched it because it's a freaking masterpiece, and that is Old Boy. Not to be confused with the remake, which was terrible, trust me. Old Boy is the story of a man named Odesu, and Odesu has been kept prisoner in an apartment for 15 years. He finally escapes. He meets this young woman working at a sushi restaurant, and he receives a phone call from the man who kept him prisoner, and this man is telling him to do stuff. He's trying to protect this young woman. He falls in love with this young woman, and then as the story goes along, you start to learn details about his involvement with the man who kept him prisoner, his relationship with this young woman, and by the end of the film, things are pretty effed up. It's fantastic, though. I adore this film. I love the visual style. I love the special little touches they put in this film. I thought the actors were fantastic. And I definitely recommend watching this film. It is subtitled, but it's so, so good. And even if you didn't like the remake, which I don't think anyone did, I didn't, you definitely need to watch this because it's so much better than that stupid remake. The next film I have to mention is The Hunt. The Hunt stars Mads Mikkelsen. I think that's how you say his name. Anyway, Mads Mikkelsen plays a man who is working at a kindergarten, and one day a student of his becomes angry and says to the headmaster of the school that he showed her his penis. So the whole town, who has been this guy's friend and they've trusted him with their children for years, so they become like a lynch mob with this guy, and he has done nothing wrong, and it just shows how these accusations affect his life and how they change his personality and the horrible consequences that happen. Now, this film was actually incredibly hard for me to watch at some points just because of the subject matter it dealt with and how this man was just trying to live his life and he couldn't escape these accusations. Some parts were really, really brutal, actually. But it's such a fantastic film. Mads Mikkelsen did a fantastic job in the role, and it's just great. I do have to say, it is subtitled, but it's fantastic. If you can watch subtitled films, definitely check out The Hunt, because it's just, it's mind-blowing. The last film I'm going to mention this month, yay, is Dredd. This is the remake, and it was phenomenal. I loved it. I have never seen the original Judge Dredd. I haven't read the comic book, so I was brand new to the story. I fell in love. Dredd is basically about how this city has judges, which are basically cops, how they deal with all these horrific crimes going on. There's like thousands of crimes per day in this city. It tells the story of Judge Dredd and how he's basically evaluating this young woman who wants to become a judge. She's a psychic, and they quickly become entangled with this mob and the mob's boss, Mama. Mama was a prostitute beforehand, and she quickly became a mob boss because she bit a guy's dick off. And Mama is vicious. Oh my gosh, I loved her so much. Lena Headey did a fantastic job portraying Mama. And this film is so, so beautiful because all these people are taking this drug called slow-mo, and it's exactly like it sounds. It makes everything appear like it's going in slow motion if you take it. And slow-mo is actually utilized quite a lot in the movie's kills, and it just makes them so much more visceral and gruesome. You can see, like, blood spraying, and it's going super slow, and it's all beautiful looking. And you can see bullets piercing skin. You can see water droplets hanging in the air and slowly falling down. They shove people off balconies and they go down super, super slow. It's just fantastic. I love the visual style of this film. It was just gorgeous. And all the actors, again, were fantastic. Carl Urban as Judge Dredd, probably the weakest in my opinion, but he didn't have a lot of personality, but he still was a good Judge Dredd. It's just a little personality-less. Which, again, I'm not familiar with the character, so maybe that's how the character is supposed to be. I don't know. Also, Olivia Thirlby was fantastic in her role as Cassandra, the trainee. It even has Donald Gleason in it, okay? Do you know how much I love Donald Gleason, and I think he's such an underrated actor? I love him a lot. I didn't know he was in this film. He was in this film, and I freaking love him, and I was obsessed, and I couldn't get enough, and I was so happy because Donald Gleason was in this freaking film. Moving on to TV, Orphan Black came back on, and if you don't know, I'm obsessed with Orphan Black. If you don't know what Orphan Black is about, which you should because it's a fantastic show, Orphan Black is the story of a group of clones who have lived their whole lives not knowing that they're clones, but they find out that they're clones, and it just chronicles their relationship with each other. It chronicles how they're trying to get away from this group called the Neolutionists who want to do scientific experiments on them. They're trying to figure out who their monitors are, and they just have to learn how to live life as a clone, and it's just so, so good. Tatiana Maslany plays all of the clones. She's fantastic. She's a goddess. And the supporting actors are fantastic, too. Jordan Gavaris as Felix. Oh my gosh, I just adore Felix. Mikhail Huisman, he is Cal. He is so gorgeous. Maria Doyle Kennedy as Mrs. S. She's just such a badass mother. And then, like, Dylan Bruce as Paul. Definitely check out Orphan Black if you're into science fiction. It deals with topics like politics and religion and science. And it's definitely worth a watch. And of course, I'm sure most of you saw this one coming. Game of Thrones came back on. And it was fantastic. I'm not going to say what happened because I know there's some people that are waiting for this to come out after the episodes have aired or after they've read all the books. So you're not getting any plot points, but just trust me, it was fantastic. I can't wait to see the rest of the episodes. I'm so in love. Moving on to games, I've been playing Ori and the Blind Forest on Xbox One. It is a fantastic platformer. I actually bought it when it released last year, but I put it off because I was intimidated by it because I heard so many people say it was extremely brutally hard. But you know what? I like it. Yes, it's hard, but I like that challenge. And it's not hard enough that you're going to rage quit or you're just going to put it down and never play it again. You keep wanting to improve and you keep wanting to go along to see how the story progresses. And it's such a beautiful game. It seriously looks like something Pixar would make or something. It's just beautiful. So if you're into platformers, I highly suggest Ori and the Blind Forest. Yes, it is difficult, but it's rewarding and it's just so beautiful. All the music I love this month is in the description box down below, so if you want to, you can give it a listen and let me know what you think. And lastly, the YouTubers I really enjoyed the past few weeks. The first YouTuber I want to mention is Rihanna Toria. Now, Rihanna Toria is so adorable and she has such fantastic taste in films. She makes amazing videos. Definitely check her out. She also covers TV. She has fantastic taste in television shows as well. And she just has such a cute accent. I love your accent. I want to be best friends with you. She's gonna unsub now. No, but Rihanna is amazing and you should definitely check out her channel if you're interested in television and movies. The next channel is Roll Credits. Again, she talks about movies and television shows. She's so adorable. She has the cutest Australian accent and she's very, very knowledgeable and she's so well spoken. She's so professional, unlike me. And she just makes fantastic videos, so definitely check out Roll Credits as well. And lastly, I have to give a huge, huge shout out to Robert Santellin. Robert has been amazing. He just recently subscribed to me, but I know he's watched tons of my videos and commented on every single one he's watched. And he's just been so sweet and so supportive. And Robert, you're awesome. Don't let the haters get to you. You have an amazing channel, and if you're into video games, definitely check out his channel because he is very, very knowledgeable at games and technology. And he has very high quality videos, so definitely check out Robert because he is an amazing guy with an amazing channel. That is it for my favorites this month. Let me know what your favorites were in the comment box down below. Also, if you're a new subscriber, please tell me where you found me, because I always want to know where people find me. Did you find me through a YouTuber, or did you just find me through a random search, or what? Let me know, please, because I'm really curious. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Share me if you want to, and don't forget to subscribe, because being an Alycat's awesome, and you can see me being weird. I'm gonna go. I love each and every one of you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and kisses. Bye.